Hey everybody, we appear to be live. Stream looks a little rough tonight, but we're still trying to get in where we fit in. Maybe Friday is not the best time, but we'll play it by ear. Good to see everybody tonight. A lot of our favorite folks are popping in, so say howdy to the Epic Badger. There he is, our buddy Johnny. Gojitron, good to see you, sir. Mudhorn Station, saw you in here. There you are. And my favorite sassy lady, Miss Allison Troy, popping in. Good to see you. We have a really wonderful show tonight. So please let me know if we're having problems, because YouTube is yelling at me saying we've got some errors, but everything looks fine on my end. We have audio, but screen is moving pixel by pixel. Wow. Yeah, that's kind of what YouTube is crying at me about. Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As usual, everything was working fine earlier tonight, but let me see if there's anything running in the background that could be causing us some kerfuffles. No? Apparently something's running. Yeah, I don't know, guys. We'll just kind of wing it, see what we got going on. Again, looking at it from my end, it seems we're doing okay, but apparently we're having some grief. So if the picture clears up, please let me know, because that's weird. Shenanigans. It is a thing. So okay, maybe it's leveling out. Starting to see that we're getting a little bit of an improvement. So we'll try cutting down on a few things here and see if that helps. I don't really have that much open. I have a couple windows of stuff I wanted to talk with you guys about. Close some of that down and just go piece by piece and see how that works. Well, let's get started, and hopefully everything will work. And if we max headroom out, we'll just call it ambiance. And now it's normal. Normal is overrated, really, isn't it? All right, well, let's see what we got going. So, what's on the agenda tonight? I have a few things on the update for you guys. We'll talk about. Pop that up. Here's what I got on the docket for tonight. We've got a look at Thor. The new Maximum series has come out this week, so we'll take a look at that. Kind of go down memory lane to some other Thors that have been memorable. We did another walkabout this week. Captured a little bit of the local life and times of Largo. The Ubiquitous has come back up for sale. I'm going to check with you guys to see if any of you have used that in your diorama building. Thought we'd talk about a little Cowboy Bebop, see where everybody is on their anime lore. Spotlight on the Russian comic book geek. Some really fun motion comics. If you're not aware, you will be by the end of tonight. And drinking and thinking. We got some interesting thoughts to get to tonight. So we shall see what we shall see. Let me double check, see where we are in the chat. Ah, yes. Was it 20 or 5 minutes in the future with Max? I don't remember. I think it was 5 minutes in the future, but who knows? It's all good. So, before we jump into looking at what's going on with Thor, This is new to me, might be new to you guys. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando coming out March 12th. I've seen a lot of buzz about this week. It's going to be a first person shooter type game, cooperative, up to 4 players, it looks like. You can have vehicles, you got zombies, you've got elder gods, and you've got all of the craziness that is John Carpenter. So it's coming in 2 flavors. We're going to have the regular and the blood edition. So I don't know what the difference is, but looks cool. If you're a gamer, if you're a John Carpenter fan, if you're both, then this might be something to look out for. I put the link to the official trailer in the description of this video, this live, so you can check that out. Gunship, one of my favorite bands, is doing the trailer music. John Carpenter himself is involved in the music in the game as well as some of the story, and I don't know, it looks cool. I haven't done any kind of new gaming in a while, but this one is kind of right up my alley. Always good to get any new content from John Carpenter. Yes, John Carter. We talked about John Carter last week, so Freudian slip, I guess. But yes, I am a big John Carpenter fan. It's cool to see him working in some new stuff. We can try taking a look at the trailer. I probably won't play the sound because of YouTube shenanigans, but we'll give you guys a look at it here if I can pull it up. Yeah, let's take a look. I'll just turn the sound off so they don't whack my pee-pee. But the animation style is pretty cool. And there's a little bit of gameplay hidden in this trailer. So the guys who did this game apparently are the same guys who did one of the Warhammer 40K games recently. So apparently the graphics and the AI engine they use for the crowds of zombies is similar to what they use for some of the Tyranids and other critters from Warhammer. So we've got a little cameo from Carpenter himself in the video. It's kind of cool. Definitely some fun homages here. So I thought it was pretty cool. Definitely you can see some inspiration from some of his earlier works in this cartoon here. Mouth of Madness comes to mind. Big Trouble in Little China, that kind of comedy is definitely in the flavor of this game. So we've got some kind of meta stuff about to happen here. We got our intrepid team. Looks to be, you've got 4 different types. You know, you've got your heavy hitter, your leader type, you've got your tech guy. There's a little bit of the gameplay, lots of gore galore, and monsters and zombies. So, you know, I thought that was kind of a fun twist of having one of the people in the game playing the game. So, very interesting. But definitely some eldritch shenanigans are going on. So, if you're into this kind of stuff, definitely something to check out. So this will be coming, as we said, in the first part of March. And yeah, thought you guys might find that to be kind of cool. So yeah, definitely something to check out. But yeah, let's talk about Thor for a second. There's definitely some stuff going on there. So pull up my slides here. Yep. So first look, you guys have seen it if you've been on the internet this week. They opted to go with a more modern style of Thor, not what I would choose for what I would call a maximum or a quintessential, or you know, I would have expected a Thor to be more either a Kirby or a Simonson type Thor, but you know, we'll talk about it. This is what's going to be on offer. This looks to be from one of the more current Matt Fraction series of Thor. And I haven't read those. I don't know much about the modern Thor stuff. Um, Not a bad suit, but not really my cup of tea, I don't think. Um, Having the Throg, Thor as a frog thing is a nice gimmick, but not enough for the price tag, I don't think. But it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. That'll be something. So I don't know. It'll, um, but looking on here, this was, the Thor many of us grew up with, was the one that was mostly, you know, drawn by Jack Kirby, brought into Journey into Mystery by Stan the Man back in 1952. It's part of revitalizing Marvel and bringing in some interesting characters, tying in the Norse mythology with all the fun stuff going on. So, yeah, be interesting. Goji says he's not crazy about the Thor, but he would like the Throg, which, yeah, exactly. Somebody will be selling that loose on eBay probably pretty soon. So that is true. But again, when I think Thor, I'm thinking this guy, you know. If you read comics in the 80s, then you're probably a Walt Simonson fan. He's the guy that brought us Beta Ray Bill. He did a lot of fun stuff with Hela and Loki and really delving into some new storylines with Thor. Probably the best run of Thor that I can think of. Um, and again, he did go through a few costume changes, but generally he was in his classic togs as the way we saw him when Kirby was drawing him. Another good run. Well, let's talk about some of the classics. I forgot about that. They're having a couple of attempts at Thor recently that were okay, not my favorites. I wanted this to be my quintessential Thor. I have the Mafex, Daredevil, the Captain America, the Iron Man. They're all great. This one is great to a degree, but we'll switch to the toy cam and you'll see why I was disappointed. If I can get her to pop up here. Awaken, arise. It's thinking about it. It was napping. There we go. So here's a tale of three Thors. Try to say that 5 times fast. Hey, I know that guy. I see Robert hanging out here. Pop up over here. There he is. Good to see you, Robert. Yeah, a lot of issues with some of these Thors. Very pricey, including what's coming out soon. But yeah, I don't know what they're thinking with this. It's something. But yeah, there's definitely a short king problem with what we see with one of these Thors. Maybe you'll spot which one. If you said Mafex, you'd be correct. Those are both supposed to be a 1/12 scale, both the Mafex edition and the one we got from Marvel Legends for the 80th anniversary. Um, yeah, it's his articulation, his styling, everything's great. He's just too damn small. So he doesn't even scale well with the other Mafex offerings, which was just irritating. To this day, the one that we got for the 80th anniversary is probably my favorite Thor of the bunch that I've got. He's the classic styling. He's still got pins. He does have some issues. Like with a lot of long-haired characters, he can't get much articulation in the neck. But he looks great. He's a right height proportionally with other Marvel Legends and even with some other lines. So I don't know. I don't know why it's so hard for people to get this right. But this ain't it for me. I don't know. It's not my bag, baby. So the Mafex, kind of hit or miss. If you have him as a standalone or if you have him on a flight stand, not horrible. Yeah, a lot of people like that 80th version because it was good. For a lot of folks, that's one and done. And I agree with Andy. We should make Marvel great again. We'll talk about that. Um, yeah, the Marvel Thor looks like he shrank in the wash. Everything's perfect. It's just the proportions are wrong. He's just tiny. I don't know how they goofed that, but they did. So there's another one coming out from Mezco, which looks interesting. I'm interested, but I don't know, man. The cash, the cash on that. He's 95 bucks. Probably going to go for more than that. And when he hits, secondary market, he'll shoot up to crazy prices. Comes with all the great accessories. He's got some great Kirby-esque look to his facial features. But I've been burned by Mezco before. With some of my earlier Mezcos that are about 5 years old now, their uniforms are starting to deteriorate just sitting in a glass case. And anything with pleather, forget about it. It does not survive. So some of the cloth goods on these, I don't know. It's a lot to invest for something to just, you know, disintegrate in a few years. And like Robert's saying, a lot of people are saying this Thor is too short as well because they based him on a buck for one of the previous figures they've done. He's a Norse god. He's supposed to be taller than all the other heroes, including Cap. But I don't know why they have a hard time getting his height right. So a lot of folks have been debating about this Max Thor, but yeah, just the price tag and the offering. This particular costume, I don't think it's where collectors are right now, but I might be wrong. So this is another really good one that came out a few years ago from Marvel Select. This was their Mighty Thor, and this is a costume that he was wearing when he did the God Butcher line, the storyline that was really well done, and that's one of the ones that I have, and I use it. Actually, that's the one I use with my Mezcos because I have the Mezco Iron Man and their first edition of Captain America, and he fits in well because he's really big. So I've got him back here in the back. Let's see if I can slide him up for you. The only heartburn I have with the Marvel Legends 80th anniversary is I live in a hot climate, so those ankle joints get really soft, and it's really hard to get them to stand up without a stand. But this Marvel Select, great detailing, comes with the whirling hammer. Whoops. And I like this suit. I like this better than what they're doing with this current Maximum Thor. This is the one I think, if they're going to do a modern Thor, I would have probably said do this one because it's, I like the bare arms. Why does he need chainmail? He's a freaking Norse powerhouse. Um, like his Kirby-esque versions, he was always, bare armed. Um, this suit I think looks more. Uh, it's a better blending between the Norse and the comic bookish. It's a good look. So that's kind of been my go-to. His articulation isn't the best because it's Marvel Select, so they don't have any double joints, and you know these you can still find. Um, I don't know who's taking over Marvel Select now that Diamond is in the rough, so to speak. But apparently, someone is going to be continuing that toy line. I heard rumors Mondo might have something to do with it, but I don't know. Maybe somebody else has heard. But it will be interesting to see. Let's check back in with the chat, see what you guys have got to say about it. Tyler Lalonde says, just sticking with my legends. I'm assuming probably 80th anniversary or one of the others. Yeah, it is good to see more soft goods. The fact that there's a soft good cape on this new Maximum is a step in the right direction. Even Toddy Mac got some cloth goods going with some of his more recent DC multiverse stuff. Really, the soft goods cape is all you need if you've got a good body sculpt. full soft goods with Mezco, it's problematic because some of it just it does not survive. Robert saying, I do like the God Butcher story. And yeah, that is a good representation of the character. So, one of my favorites. I would have rather seen a good version of this with, some pinless joints. And who knows? Maybe they'll do that. Anything's possible. But that's probably my favorite Thor other than the classic. And this is another one I think deserves honorable mention. If you are a larger scale collector, a few years ago, Bobby Valla put out a series of 12-inch or 1/6 scale Marvel Legends. He did Iron Man, he did Deadpool, Hulk, Captain America, and of course Thor, and a few others, I think. This one, I love the detailing on this. It's like a good blend between some of his more modern interpretations, and I'd love to see this as just a 1/12. If Hasbro took this model that they already have and scaled it down to fit their typical stuff, that would have been a better choice, I think, for a maximum. But, who knows what goes into the decision making around there. Hey, it is Mr. Wonderful. Yo, Largo. Well, yo to yourself. Good to see you, buddy. Speaking of seeing me around, you're going to see me going around town. I did some more walkabout footage for you guys tonight. So, what else we got? This appears to be where they referenced this new Maximum Thor. Looking at some of the Matt Fraction stuff, I haven't read this storyline. I don't know about how this story went. If some of you guys have read it, you could tell me. But as far as the art style, this appears to be what they're going for. So it's a more modern-ish interpretation. So, it doesn't wow me. But, and again, the chainmail on the arms, I could care less about. I prefer him bare-armed. But that's just a preference. So, the big sticking point here is, at least on Big Bad, is $55.99, $56 for a Marvel Legend. This is not a import figure. The only wow factor to this, I'd say, is the cloth cape. It comes with a decent smattering of accessories. Still looks like we're going to have problems with getting some neck articulation because both of the head sculpts with hair, I don't see that they've left any room for him to look up. But we'll see when people get it in hand. It'll be interesting to see. But I don't know. I feel like they're trying to bridge the distance between import figure and, on the shelf collectible. And I think they're failing with this line. Goji may have the truth of it. He says, some say decision making at Hasbro involves a blindfold and a dartboard. That sounds about right. Some of the stuff that's come out in the last few years. So who knows? Who knows? But, it's a thing. But let's move on to something else, if you guys would like. Like I said, I went out and did some more walkabout bits for you guys. I'm trying to get into the groove of, having a camera in people's faces when I'm out walking around. I don't normally do that. But went in search of a good cup of Joe. And I'll show you what I got going and see what you guys think. All right, kids, I am on my way out the door. I've got my Red Bull, got my trusty selfie stick, which I feel really ridiculous using. Got my walking stick. Let's do a walkabout and see what kind of good vibes we can find in the fair city of Flores. That's the mission for today. All right, so here is Casa de Largo. As you can see, it's trash day. And I really need to trim the hedges, but I'm freaking lazy. So it's on my to-do list. But we're walking and heading down to see what we can find. There's a couple coffee shops I like that I'd like to give you guys a look at what is the standard fare for those who are in need of being caffeinated. I found a wrecked car here that's from Knoxville, Tennessee. So this banged up budget vehicle made its way here from the same place I did. Okay, we're coming up on one of my favorite little tiendas. There's little shops all over town where just whatever you need, mom and pop kind of stuff. Usually someone's storefront in front of their house, junk food, cold beverages, whatnot. So, yeah, I'm gonna flip, and I'll show you guys a typical tienda. You'll see these everywhere around here. Several usually on the same street. It's an easy way for people to have their own business. So they'll just open a storefront in front of their house and sell whatever. So that's kind of so here's a closer look at the tienda down here. It's a family-owned operation. Got a little, and you'll get me some cancer sticks. So I've kind of gone native. This is a local brand around here. Don't forget, kids, smoking seriously harms you and others around you. So it's nice that they remind. So it was about this point in my walkabout that I realized well, I didn't realize, but my microphone went out. So I'll be doing some voiceovers for the rest of this footage. What you see here is a taller mecanico, which is the local garage. This particular one services tuk-tuks, or the little missing taxis that we have here, little three-wheeled things that are menaces to society because the drivers are crazy and they kind of make up their own road rules as they go. So that's that. Another common sight you'll see, especially in smaller towns, is hotels in the oddest of places. Some be little inexpensive places for travelers to spend the night, and other times they will be love hotels, similar to what they have in Japan. A lot of folks still live with their family, and they need a private place to go make some sweet, sweet loving. So love shacks are around. It's a thing. Who knew? So this was an unexpected find. I went down a side street I don't normally walk on and found a coffee shop I didn't know was there. So this place turned out to be really cool. It's called Cafeteria Itza, and they've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and everything kind of in between. Got snacks and coffee and cappuccino and whatnot, booze if you want it, and prices seem pretty reasonable. So I'll definitely be back again. This is kind of neat. So it's a neat setup. They got a little coffee bar out front if you just want to go and go. They've got dining, and it's really nice out. It was really friendly. Speak any English, but we muddled. I grabbed a cappuccino and back to try a meal. Which one? But it's cool new places like the Vineyard Tin. Never saw it, so every day's a. So I thought that was a good hustle. Somebody decided to open a lavanderia, or a laundry place. It's just a machine. If you're in and need some clothes, come off and pick them up later. And they ice machine, washing machines. You got your own business. Good hustle. Another cool hustle is to open a paca, or super paca, or mega paca. Paca is slang for these pallets that come from the States, usually filled with clothing, some new, some used, and they get a second life in the local discount shops. So that's a cool way to do it. And today I found a really cool shirt, so bonus. You can still find real cobblers who will repair your shoes. and they work by hand. They also use older sewing machines that are designed to sew leather. I've had a couple of pairs of sneakers and dress shoes that I've had resoled, rehealed. They do a great job, and philosophy of making things last and trying to get the most out of stuff instead of just throwing everything away and buying new. Even the stuff that gets thrown away gets recycled. It's not uncommon to see people picking up cans, and there's a couple businesses will sort trash specifically for the aluminum. They'll crush it and then they ship it off and get paid for it. So they're big on recycling here, not so much for saving the world, but for putting some money in their pocket. But whatever gets the job done, man. You can't go anywhere in Guatemala without seeing street dogs, chickens, and roosters running wild. It's just how they do it here. Here's another little tienda. This one's closed, but it has the name of our little village, Villa Concepcion. Another popular business you'll see in the walkabout is a car detailing center. Because no matter what kind of trashy hoopty you're driving, you gotta have tinted windows and you gotta have a cool stereo.
Well guys, that's about all I got for you today. I found a new place to grab some coffee, got myself a cool new shirt so I can show off my pasty white arms for the gun show. After I took today, I realized my microphone didn't pick up because it ran out of power. Thought I had it charged, so apologies for that. This is still a learning experience for me. I'm not used to doing this kind of photography and mad about town stuff, but we're working on it. We'll get it figured out. So hopefully this will be of interest. If there's anything out here in town that you want to see, or if you're curious about certain type of way people live here in Guatemala, let me know in the comments. I will continue doing this and maybe I'll get better at it. I don't know. But it's a hot day today. It's probably going to be over 100. For you guys dealing with all the snowstorms in the States, it sucks. It sucks to be you. Get out of the snow, man. Life is way too short to be shoveling snow. All right, see ya. Bye.
So that's a little slice of life. That's my walkabout for this week. Sorry if it was a little discombobulated. We've been having some signal issues tonight. So what I might do is take the walkabouts and just put them up as standard videos so you guys can watch those on YouTube. So keep an eye on my channel. I'll start putting those up as I make them. And a lot of places around here to explore. Found a new coffee shop this week I didn't even know was there. And it's probably been there for a long time. It's just a side street I just never go down. You know, you kind of get into certain patterns of traffic of where you go, where you walk, and still a lot to see here. So it will be interesting. So, yeah. Goji just dug himself out of 32 inches of snow. Good grief, dude. Yeah, I do not miss the wonderful, beautiful Tennessee winters. They look great on a postcard. I don't miss shoveling snow at all. But I'm glad Allison liked the walkabouts. Yeah, let me know if there's something in particular you want to know about. I've been noodling some ideas. I've even talked to a local bruja or witch. I'm trying to get her to go on camera with me. She's a little camera shy, but those things still happen here. And, you know, I'm looking at going to some of the bigger Maya ruins later this year, like Tikal, and trying to get better at taking footage and doing that kind of thing. When I'm out and about, I don't always remember I have a camera in my pocket. So definitely trying to get better. So Epic says, Largo signed off. I ended the video because, oh, I just, oh, okay, no, yeah, just done with that segment. So, but I hope you guys are enjoying that. Again, trying something new, trying something different. I figure I live in a place that some people might be curious about. That's something different I can do that other channels don't. So, don't really want to become a travel channel, but walking about, I can do that. But yeah, we'll just keep experimenting with it until we hit on something that works. So, what else do we have? Oh, yeah, I want to talk to you guys about this set. This is something that came up if you're a diorama kind of person. The Ubiquitous went up for sale, oh, I want to say about 2 years ago. I picked it up. It is still sitting in the box. I have never opened it just because I don't have room to set it up. But it looked cool, and it's up for sale again. So if you missed it the first time, it is now in stock again. There's a lighted and unlit version. So that might be something, if you hadn't heard about it, now you know. And yeah, still in stock. They have the lit and unlit versions, and then they have an expansion set if you want to make a bigger piece. So I'm just curious if any of you guys have tried this out. Like I said, I'm going to be looking at getting it out of the box soon. The instructions were challenging. I remember when I first looked at it, and then I set it aside and said, I'll get back to it, and never did. But anything's possible. So, yeah, if any of you guys have tinkered with this, if you know about it, let me know. Brick says, yeah, he has an unopened Ubiquitous as well. So, yeah, great minds think alike. It looks cool. It's going to be tough to put together, I think. There's a lot of little pieces, parts, but definitely going to be something I want to look back into. Hey, there's Thanos Copter. Good to see you, buddy. Eduardo is camera shy. I've tried taking pictures of the actual next door Eduardo, and it's really hard to get him to stand still long enough to get a good shot, but I will endeavor to do so. But there's plenty of roosters running around, so yeah, you'll see more of that. Not giving our toys enough attention. Yes, that is true. There are some things that have just sat forlorn and undusted simply because life gets in the way. I think you guys know how that goes sometimes. But yeah, I thought this was interesting. It reminded me, yes, I need to unbox it and actually do something with it. When I do, I'll try to remember to take some footage of that and let you know. But yeah, it's a thing. And speaking of things, another thing that I've seen reissued was Spike Spiegel. If you're a Cowboy Bebop kind of guy, and I am, this is a really cool, inexpensive way to put together the crew of the Bebop. These run about $40, and they're just static statues, but they're really well detailed. If you want an articulated figure for Cowboy Bebop, good luck. There aren't many, and they're super expensive. I know there's been a 1/6 12-inch type. Can't remember who made it right off the top of my head. I want to say Metacom made it back in the day, but those have been out of print for a long time. And I'm trying to remember who else made 3-0. The 3-0 company made one, which I believe is still in stock, but it's spendy. It's not like like Hot Toys type prices, but yeah. So this is the 3-0 version of Spike, and it's really cool. And I do have a few 1/6 scale guys, and I'd love to have him in my collection, but it's 177, 178. It's a lot of money for a guy that, while cool, he's part of an ensemble cast. He does a lot of solo stuff, but I don't know if I want him on the shelf by himself. I think I want the whole gang, which is why I bring up the pop-up parade version. This one's 40 and change. It's about 7 inches tall. It's got a really good styling to it. Definitely captures the look of the character from the anime. So if you're looking for a more inexpensive way to have these guys just on your shelf next to your video collection or your mangas or what have you, this might be a good way to go. And like I said, this one is coming out, which means hopefully they will also be reissuing some of the other ones that came out as part of this series. Most of them, yeah, most of these they've already issued. They've sold out on some places. They're still available if you look, but the whole crew is there. You've got Ein and Ed, Faye, and Jet Black. So definitely a fun thing to look at if that's something that floats your boat. And see what you guys are saying about it. So Thanos is definitely saying we should open up the ubiquitous. I know it's definitely on the list. I didn't know that Loyal Subjects did a Spike Spiegel. Huh. I've never really looked much at their stuff. It kind of, yeah, I figured it'd be kind of cheap compared to, like, I think they did Turtles and some other stuff too, and it wasn't great. But it's a thing. But I don't know how many of you guys are into Cowboy Bebop, who were into it back in the day. So I put together a few slides just to talk about what it is, man. If you're not familiar with Cowboy Bebop, 26 episode anime, directed by Shinichiro Watanabe in the late 90s. It's a mix of Western, like Wild West kind of stuff, something they called neo-noir, so it has a very noir mystery vibe to it, and of course, you know, some sci-fi. It's fun. It's something that was original in a time when it was hard to find anything that wasn't just a remix of everything else. It still holds up to this day, which I can't say about a lot of other anime. Some of them, you know, they start looking dated. The stories aren't as crisp as you remember them. But Cowboy Bebop stands the test of time. And it's still one of my favorites. You know, there's the, what's the polite way to put it? There's a certain crowd of people who, you know, get into an anime just because it's popular. You know those type. And then, oh yeah, I didn't like Cowboy Bebop because I didn't understand it. It's like, well, fair enough, you know. First blush, there's a lot going on. It can be a little complicated and jarring for some folks, but I think it's worth the investment of your time. And yeah, Thanos Copter says he digs Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, there weren't a lot of figures, which is kind of ironic because the reason they got the green light to do the anime series was because Bandai wanted a series so they could sell spaceships. They just told the animators, put some spaceships in it, do whatever you want. And they got Cowboy Bebop and said, I don't think we can sell toys with this. But, you know, it's how things work. Yep. I agree with Robert. Cowboy Bebop was awesome. Shame the Netflix show fell short. And I think it was a lot because they just saw the sizzle, but they didn't really understand the steak. They didn't understand the, well, there's philosophy. There's a lot of philosophy and deeper meanings to a lot of what makes Cowboy Bebop work. And Netflix just went with a surface flash kind of thing, in my opinion. And it was very disappointing. Robert's got it on DVD. I do too. I have, as a matter of fact, that's my set I've got and really enjoy it. All right, our buddy Grindhead peeking his head in. Good to see you, buddy. So, yeah, I really enjoy this. Highly recommend it to anybody who's looking for something that's not just the same old, you know, rinse and repeat kind of storylines. It's got a little bit of something for everybody, and you really have to see it more than once. Definitely watch it in order. When it originally aired, it wasn't always aired in the correct order. as is with a lot of anime, especially if you're like me and you caught it on Adult Swim or Toonami. But definitely worth watching when you can see it episodically as it was intended. There's some deeper stuff there. Um, the basic thing is it's these four misfits and a dog who are trying to get some bounties. And you've got Jet, captain of the ship, the Bebop. You've got Spike, who is your main protagonist, who's got a darker past that you find out about more in, you start getting into the second season kind of stuff. Faye Valentine and Radical Edward are later additions that are fun. So yeah, definitely something fun to check out, especially if you're like me and you look at all the newer stuff that's out there and you're just groaning saying, I want something actually entertaining. Cowboy Bebop is definitely something to get back into. And yeah, Andy, they had some great spaceships. A lot of really cool stuff in the animation. Thanos says he enjoyed. Oh, he actually enjoyed the live action. Uh, I liked the guy they picked for Spike. I thought he did a good job, but the script was eh. But yeah, it is what it is. But when it says he started to watch the live action, yeah, watch the anime first, and then if you want to, try the live action, you know, it. I wasn't enjoying it. For me, another thing that really sells it and why you can just go back to this again and again is the soundtrack. Um, Yoko Kano and the Seatbelts was just a very interesting sound. Bebop, the idea of taking jazz, doing some uh, stuff that's kind of off the cuff. They put a lot of weird stuff together, but it just worked. And that's kind of the theme of the whole show. So definitely shows up in the music they did. So definitely enjoyed it. And yeah, missing it gives me the real folk blues. You're gonna have to carry that weight. So if you know, you know. But yeah, just thought I'd share a little bit about the Bebop, and interested to see how many other folks are out there bebopping also. Something else I wanted to kind of spotlight. We talked about random diorama last week. Another YouTuber I really enjoy is the Russian comic book geek. If you haven't heard of him, he's been around for a while. He does a lot of motion comics, and they're really well done. He gets voice actors to come in, and they put it together. It's a really nice production, and some of it is actually more entertaining than what we're getting from the MCU or the DC universe these days. So this is his website. Links are in the description below. He's a big Moon Knight fan, so there's a lot of Moon Knight on his channel. Really good stuff. So it's definitely worth looking into. Indeed. See you later, Cowboy. Love that show. Some of his stuff I think is better than what we're getting from the MCU. So if you're like me and you're disappointed with the slop that we've been getting, go to the Russian Comic Book Geek and watch the motion comics that are much better than the films. If you didn't like Pedro Pascal pretending to be Mr. Fantastic, see the original Kirby classic of The Coming of Galactus. If you hated Love and Thunder, look at the motion comic for The God Butcher. It's fantastic. If you are like me and figure that Doomsday is going to be a dumpster fire, check out the Books of Doom. Fantastic storytelling, really well done, and they're all here for free on YouTube. So definitely worth checking out. That is the Russian Comic Book Geek. So, and he does other stuff other than Marvel. Some of my other favorites. He's got All-Star Superman. He's got The Shadow, Conan, some great Conan stuff in there, some other Kirby favorites like Etrigan the Demon, and of course Batman. A lot of Batman stuff. And he even does some of the Morrison Run JLA and Martian Manhunter. So definitely something to check out. So Mudhorn Station says, I have a very cursory knowledge of anime. Really enjoyed Castlevania. That is one I also really enjoy. I thought they did a good job with that. I've got, I think, the first 2 or 3 seasons on DVD or Blu-ray. Helsing's another one that one's a little bit more out there, but it's cool if you like vampire stuff. Hey, it's the Melbor. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you, sir. I'm glad that you popped in. But yeah, just looking at some odds and ends here in the interwebs that might be of interest to you. And that's all I got for that. So I figure we'll do a little drinking and thinking, and then we'll call it a night. I'm kind of all over the place with thoughts and ideas for shows. Let me pop open a tasty beverage here. So I don't have any Guinness, so we're going with Gaio tonight because you gotta have a cock on the label if you want your beer to taste good. Yeah, that'll work. So there's the drinking. Let's do some thinking. What is on the agenda for tonight? Well, I figured we'd talk about getting your mojo back and the idea of the empty cup. This kind of goes along with some of the what is the muse stuff that I'm working on for a further lowdown video down the road. But basically, you know, we throw around the idea of mojo. It's that quality that attracts people to you, makes you successful, full of energy. And yeah, sometimes it gets to where you feel like you've lost your mojo. I know I'm not the only one, especially as you're dealing with day-to-day conundrums and whatnot. Why, yes, Badger, we did have a wild Melvor sighting. He is elusive, slippery, but always worth the pursuit. Oh, cool. Mudhorn Station says my access to anime is on what's UK Netflix. I don't know, but general Netflix or what I get here in Latin America, it's a lot of good stuff that you can get. But Crunchyroll's another good place to find some good anime. And you can always sail the seas if you're into the army hardy kind of thing. I'm not, but a lot of people are. I'm only not into it mostly because I don't have any expertise on how to do that. But there's a lot of good anime that it's hard to find sometimes unless you know somebody who knows somebody who knows where it is. So it is a thing. But yeah, getting your mojo back. Because sometimes you can't pour from an empty cup. It's an old saying, but holds true. When you feel like you're burnt out, I've definitely experienced that between trying to start a new business with the bar, trying to get back into the rhythm of doing the YouTubes again after many months of a sabbatical or hiatus or whatever you want to call it. It can be a little exhausting and overwhelming. And you got to fill yourself up first before you can share. So that's kind of where I'm at, working on stuff. And be curious to see how many other folks are dealing with the same kind of thing. Mud Orange Station says, I packed in my sea legs since I got Netflix and Disney Plus. Well, you know, fair enough. It's good to be legit. It's a thing. So I'll let you guys chew on that thought for a minute. Let's see. Used to make anime hunting trips. Oh, yeah. Back when I was in the States, especially when I lived on the left coast, in Portland area, there was a place called Salzer's Videos, and they had a lot of gently used DVDs, and you can find a lot of cool anime there. So I'd go in there a lot. You get used books, used videos. I miss having places like that around. Obviously, here in Guatemala, not so much. But yeah, it's almost as much fun as toy hunting, looking for those fun classics. Um, Flea markets, you can sometimes find some stuff on a weekend. So yeah, if you're in a place where you can do a search, it can be a fun adventure. But yeah, so think about some mojo and empty cups and how you fill them. I'm gonna throw up the beat right back, and I'll be right back. Alrighty then. Apologies. As you saw from the walkabout, it's been in the 90s here, so it is quite warm. So I've been taking in copious amounts of liquids and got to take a potty break. So, but Mudhorn says 26 episodes of Cowboy Bebop on Netflix. Yeah, definitely worth watching. There's also a movie that was made to go in between some of the episodes. Worth finding if you can. Definitely adds to the storyline. But beyond that, there is a manga that was written. I haven't looked into it because one of the things I love about the anime is it actually ends. There is a definitive ending. It's really well done. Even though you want to revisit the characters, I don't know if it's a story you can continue once you get to a certain point. And I don't think you should. Unless you're doing flashbacks and looking at other aspects of the characters. Some stories should just end. You know, I think Michael French from Retroblasting talked about that, and I agree. A good story has an ending, and that's okay. Andy is saying people often find some activities they F their soul. It's also important to know the difference between burnout and dopamine fatigue. That's fair. Yeah. Oh, okay. Activities that can feed the soul. Yeah, let's talk about that because that's some good stuff. Um, a lot of people look at self-care as certain things you treat yourself with, pick-me-ups, power nap, walk in the woods, or my favorite, a damn fine cup of coffee. And while these things are helpful, they're not the full picture. They can be band-aids. Get you by, but it's not what you really need. So, but still, if you can find a fine damn cup of coffee, do so. But yeah, I agree with Andy. You got to find those activities that feed the soul. For me, doing this, doing the walkabouts, finding things to challenge myself but not stress myself. So these are things I think about as I delve into my tasty beverages. Hence, drinking and thinking. So if that's not the cure-all, what is? Self-care, is more about deeper stuff. It's not just taking a break, it's finding a way to stay rooted, find your calm, and connect with yourself. Sometimes we lose that connection when we get busy with the business of life and doing stuff. Pressure builds. Sometimes we ignore it. The Billy Joel song is definitely a great reminder if you are old enough like me to remember that one. You know, and sometimes your body just quietly asks for stuff, whether it's a break or something good to eat or just a quiet moment. And definitely try not to criticize yourself because Lord knows there's plenty of others who'll do it for you. And it's a thing. Mudhorn saying mindful coloring in has been my go-to for 5 years or more. Yeah, our buddy Allison does a lot of coloring, and that's a very zen kind of thing. My buddy Jonathan, who does random diorama, he builds dioramas, and he finds it very soul-soothing. So I highly recommend checking out his Craft and Chill, who'll be on a little bit later tonight. So, yeah. How do you fill your empty cup? Well, if your mojo's beat up, like mine has been from time to time, poor mojo. You know, it's okay to let the tired bits be tired. And sometimes things bubble up, anger, anxiety, and you don't need a backstory. You don't need to overanalyze. Why do I feel what I feel? Sometimes it's okay to just feel it and go through it, be done with it. And we do tend to fill our lives with noise. Sometimes it's okay to just find a quiet space, make it your own. So that's my sage advice for the evening. And I agree, Robert. It does have a definitive end. And while it is sad when you come to the ending because you've built a bond with the characters, it feels right. It feels like, yeah, this is the correct place to call it a day. Yep. Mudhorn saying since last September, I now also now customize and paint action figures. Awesome. I tinker with that a little bit. I'm mostly kit bash, but for the same reasons. I like creating unique characters that fit with my world building here. And yeah, it is definitely very zen. And Allison is coloring as we speak, as she should, indeed, because it's cool. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and just wondering what you guys think. How do you fill your cup and get your mojo back? Because there are days when saying this is fine is not really fine. So that, my friends, is about all I've got for you tonight. I figured I'd go about an hour, and we didn't crash. So sometime, I think 10:30, 11-ish, depending on your time zone, our buddy Radnom or Random Diorama will be crafting and chilling later. So feel free to check that out. Um, Definitely a nice palate cleanser if you've had a crappy week. Definitely something you should enjoy. You know, everybody has that problem at some point. If you're into Mandalorians, they're like dust bunnies. They just multiply. I don't know. Goji says I've been making less videos and drawing more, striking a good balance. Cool. But hey, we like those videos. Keep them coming. Yeah, it's good to find what you enjoy. I'm still figuring it out. I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, even though it can be a little stressful sometimes, mostly because of the technological malarkey that I have no control over. Um, again, challenging myself to do more toy photography, photo stuff, whether it be with toys or human beings. Um, Getting over the language barriers and connecting with people that sometimes you just kind of nod and walk by. Sometimes it's okay to stop and muddle through the language distance and figure something out. And he says his one of his things was laser tag outdoor. Cool. I don't have to filter my senses. I can move or stay still as long as I want. Experiment with gear and game ideas. Enhance the fun. Very cool. I used to do a little bit of paintballing. Never tried the laser tag, but yeah, I get it. That can be fun. So it is a thing. So yeah, beyond finishing this tasty beverage, I don't think I have anything else for you guys, unless you guys have something in the comments for me. I think we will call it there and say that's a wrap. So yeah, let's see. Mudhorn saying I can be found there under this name. Oh, this must have something to do with Insta comment. You lost me on that one, buddy. But I'm not following. Sorry. So unless you guys have something else, I'm just going to say Auf Wiedersehen, have a good week. And I don't know where I'm going to walk about this week. Might go to the island. If you guys want to see Flores Island proper on the water, I could do that. It's not that far away. Thanos is saying, good to have you back. Well, good to be back. I'm still trying to figure out a time slot. This, I've seen a lot of heavy traffic, so my signal's getting kind of wonky. Might try a different night, might try a different time zone. I don't know yet. We're still figuring it out. But definitely some fun stuff. Oh, okay. So your customs are on your Instagram. Is that what I'm? Is that it? I'll check it out, and maybe we'll feature that in a future lounge episode. But yeah, man, good to see you guys. Definitely appreciate it, and I will definitely continue with the walkabouts. Thank you, Allison. We'll see where we go with that. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here, and we'll figure it out. Find your bliss, all that good stuff. Enjoy.